into STEM, and can you describe your journey in STEM education?
Okay, so you may all know I grew up in Vietnam, right? And in Vietnam, our education system is very linear and specialized from the beginning. So like in high school, we already know what we want to pursue, like in terms of like, you can go to path, like liberal art or science and technology, right? So for me, I am very good with numbers, right? I'm very good with math. And my 3 favorite subjects is math, physics, and chemistry. Okay, actually my favorite subject is organic chemistry, right? So if you notice, if you're good at math or physics or basically in science, you go in a different path. And the other branch would be English, no, not English, like literature, history, and geography. That is the other path, right? So when I was a high schooler, I already know that I want to be focusing on science part. And by high school, when you finish high school, you're done with calculus 3, which is calculus BC. That's in high school. So that is, when I came here when I was 21 years old. And I applied to be in engineering. But at that time, I didn't know that I want to be electrical engineering. I came here when it was the booming of Silicon Valley, right? In the year 2000. And my family, who was here before me, said, since you're so good at all these subjects, you should go for EECS at Berkeley, Cal Berkeley. And I applied. Who knows, I got in. Yeah, I mean, the program there was really good. But when we come to the question about the challenges, I'll share with you.
Okay, we can go to the next slide. Yeah, I should have seen this.
Which one is it?
Organic chemistry, right?
Yeah, this one. I am one of the 4 students in the engineering school of engineering. And we have a lot of challenges that we have to face as a woman in STEM at school at that time. Hopefully it has changed since then. It was 10 years ago, right? No other student want to be partnered with us, the 4 girls. We was always got looked down, right, as women in engineering at school at that time. No guys want to be partnered with us. The 4 of us always partnered together. I remember my partner is a single mom. We always partner together. And we always come to school and stay overnight all the time. Even so, at school it's already hard, but in the workforce is also very hard. My first job in a company full of Iranian. I am the only woman in my first job. It is very, very hard. But I think right now things have changed, right? You have seen a lot of female role model in the workplace and at school, right? A lot of your parents, your moms are engineers, right? I think companies have tried to hire more female engineers in their company. Is that true? How many of you who has mom as an engineer or in STEM? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Ms. Parker, do you have anything to add?
No, keep going. We're excited to learn from you.
Oh.
Any questions about this question?
Anything else you guys wanted to cover? Yeah.
Did you have a specific role model?
Do I have a specific role model? I don't have all the growing up in my family. My family is more in business. Even when we come here, we are more in business. I don't think we have any engineer in our family. I don't have any role model when I was in school, but as I go out and work, I have quite a lot of role models, like my colleagues, someone who, they may not be in STEM, but the way they solve problem or the way they stand up, like be an upstander, right? The way they speak up and the way they deal with things are kind of like my role model. There's a lot of teachers here could be my role model, and sadly, a lot of them left. Yeah.
Do you want to name a few that were?
Well, Miss Parker here always speak up for us, always fight for the teachers, right? So Miss Parker here, Miss Yvonne Faisal, you remember her? Every time when she see any problem in anything that happened at school, she would try to fix it, right? Miss Briggs, always try to fix. You remember Miss Briggs? English teacher,
Yeah.
right? There's a few more teachers, but I don't think you remember, or you have them. Yeah, they left before you guys arrived.
Yeah, I can relate. I have so many like friends and classmates who really inspire me
Yeah.
to like do better. So
Yeah.
thanks for sharing. How about what's your most memorable career or teaching experience?
So can I share with you why I leave the engineering field first?
Yeah.
Right. So I graduated. When I start college, it was the peak of Silicon Valley. When I finished, we are at the bottom. So I was not able to find a job after I get out. And it takes so I went and traveled around the world. When I come back, I got a job as an entry-level engineer, right? This is the company when I told you that a lot of Iranian. And I feel like I am very happy with my job at that time, the job that I do, but I'm not happy with the environment that I'm in. Because I was an entry-level engineer, and there's a lot of things that I accomplished, but I wasn't giving credit for the work that I do, right? I'm very satisfied with the work that I do, like when you write code and you hit run and it works.
Yes.
All of you know what I'm talking about, right? Adrenaline, right? When you hit run and it's like, everything work out, you check your number with my number, your teacher's number, and everything's matched, right? The satisfaction, right? And even now, I still got that kind of satisfaction, even though I have been teaching and writing, right? Any piece of code, when you hit run and it works, it just feels so good, right? So the reason why I left is first, I don't like to work in the cubicle, like sit there and just keep typing. And because at that time I was entry-level engineer. I don't get to do more cool things, or I don't get credit for what I do, right? So when I come to school and teach, it is the most rewarding. Yeah? So I think that my memorable, the rewarding experience for me is when I have students come back and tell me what they do, right? What do they do after they graduated? I think my first class is now 32 years old.
32?
Oh, wow.
Bro,
What is that
Well,
recent
the AP
advancement that you got that you're interested in?
Well, when you have my class last year, I always pause sometimes I say, hey, I need to pick up this phone call, remember?
Yeah.
Right, because of my dad, remember?
Yeah.
So, and I also have a very good friends who work for Intuitive Surgical. Do you know that company?
I invested in
Yeah. They design robot and surgery devices for medical field, right? You know my dad was sick for a long time, right? So my interest right now is in robot in surgical field. It's just because, you know, I have elderly parents, right, who's ill. Unfortunately, my dad passed away in the beginning of this semester. But it's also because I have friends who's in the field that sometimes we just sit down and chit chat and say, hey, check this out, right? The Da Vinci machine here, I'm working on it. Things like that, right? It is very cool how robotics are now so good in the medical field, right? There's this tiny little chip can be implanted in your body and does not a lot of things. You can swallow this. It is put in the pill and you swallow it in, right? And it will tell you what's wrong in your body and things like that. And I have a feeling that maybe for your generation or your kids' generation, right? We don't need a doctor, maybe.
That's what doctors.
Or we can have a better, more accurate diagnosis device, right?
Yeah, I've heard of those.
Yeah.
What are some pieces of advice that you would give to high schoolers if they pursue a career in STEM?
Stay curious. Stay curious is what I think will drive you to, you know, to achieve your goal, right? I have a fourth grader always ask me why and what is. Yeah, we are in the car and ask me, what is the lightest solid in the world? Right? I have no clue. I would ask Google, right? Right. So stay curious and be a problem solver. When you see a problem, even if it's not your problem, see if you can solve it. It does not need to be in STEM, right? Today, my kids have soccer tryout at school. And I am not able to pick him up. He will need to ride the bike home. But it could be raining, right? And then the soccer tryout is over at 5 o'clock, which is very dark to ride home. I said, you have to solve that problem. Right? What do we do? Because the tryout may be canceled because of the rain. And or I don't know, you used to have to solve the problem.
You have 5 minutes.
Right? So I think try to solve a problem, even in your everyday life. Right? It does not need to be in STEM. You don't need to solve world problem. Right? Stay curious is what I would say. Yeah. But I think by now you guys know how to prioritize, right? That is another skill, I think that is a life skill, right? Prioritize. Right? Because I mean, we only have 24 hours a day. How can we do the best for everything we do, right?